Okay, so welcome back to another video on this channel, Rookie Year Soccer. Today we're going to be getting into tips for beginner investors or people who are relatively new to soccer card investing or soccer card collecting. Just a little disclaimer before we start. Please, after you've watched my videos, make sure you do your own research. I'm by no means a complete expert in the field of soccer cards. So it's really important that you do your own research before you go out and buy a card. Of course, you can take my advice, and I feel like the advice that I'm giving is genuine and balanced, but please do your own research. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So I wanted to make a video for sort of newcomer investors or newcomer soccer card collectors because I think that I really would have benefited from something that told me the things that I'm going to tell you today. And sometimes it can seem like a bit of a minefield. There's so many different sets, so many different players, variations, cards, and there's so much different advice online about what you should buy. So many different people battling for space in the sort of content field and trying to give you different pieces of advice, and it can be really hard to know who's genuine and who isn't. So I wanted to make this video today to give you a few tips about how to buy cards, when to buy cards, who to trust as a source, and a few other things as well. So the first tip that I'd give any new buyer is, as I said, do your research. No matter who you listen to online, their opinion, including mine, is always going to be somewhat altered or biased by a certain thing. Just because we've had success or someone's had success buying and selling a certain card doesn't mean that you're going to. Time moves very, very quickly in the card market. Things change, players change, and it's really important that before you pull the trigger on buying that card or selling that card, you need to do your own research. So that's the first tip I'd have. You can listen to people, but you need to do your own research. So moving on to the next tip, don't buy with emotion. It's really, really important that you don't let your emotions control your purchases in soccer card collecting and investing. If you've always wanted a card for your personal collection, that's absolutely fine. By all means, buy with emotion. Pick your favorite player, pick your favorite looking card and buy that. That's absolutely fine. But if you're doing it for the long-term investment, or you actually want to try and make some money, then you need to think a little bit smarter. For example, if your favorite player from your favorite club scores a great goal, it doesn't necessarily mean that their market value is going to increase. Or if you're watching the Champions League final and someone happens to score a fantastic screamer who doesn't usually, just because they've done something out of the ordinary doesn't necessarily mean that their suddenly long-term value is going to increase. What you need to do is buy based on evidence of trends, evidence of cards that sell well, sets that sell well, and players that have really proven themselves over a medium to long term to have that value and to show that they're wanted by people. Make sure you're following evidence and trends, and unless you're going for your personal collection, you really want to leave emotion out of it. Okay, so my second tip is to be really wary of unreliable sources. As with anything where there's money involved, there's going to be unreliable people. There's going to be people who are biased, who are trying to manipulate you into buying their cards. I'm not going to name any unreliable names because I don't really believe in doing that, but there is a number of reliable sources in the soccer card market, who I've come across anyway, who have been really good at replying to me, especially when I was getting started, giving me advice, putting out genuine content that is unbiased and is just for the benefit of sort of educating people. I'm going to put a number of them on the screen now, so I'll cut for a little bit and then you can just take them in, pause, go follow them on Instagram, YouTube, all those sorts of things. So I'll put them on the screen now and then, follow them. Now, all the sources that I've just shown you there, I personally believe to be unbiased, sort of educating sources that they might be in it to make some money too, but they're also in it for the love of the collecting. So I think that's a really good marker of what you should be following. That's not to say that people who I haven't put on that list aren't reliable. It's just that I've come to sort of trust a number of these sources. And yeah, those are the ones that I put my faith in. So go follow them, and I can guarantee that you'll learn some new things about the hobby and about where to put your money and things like that. So my third tip is diversify. The soccer card market is kind of similar to stocks in that they can go up and down pretty quickly. Some players more likely than others, but they can go up and down. And there's, as I always say, never ever surefire profit in this sort of market. It really does need sort of research and know-how to navigate properly. But yeah, you need to diversify. If a player gets a big injury and their career is ruined, then their value is going to plummet and it won't recover. So you need to think about that. You need to be buying lots of players from different clubs, leagues, nationalities, sets, because sets can go up and down in popularity. Don't spread it too wide, but if you believe in 5 or 6 players, then put your money into them. Don't put all your money into a Sancho or a Pulisic. Not that they're not good to put money into, but if one of them gets an injury, then that's it, and you're gonna lose some money. So make sure you diversify over a number of cards to keep your long-term investments safe, and yeah, really give you a good chance of making profit in the long run. Okay, so a few really simple but really useful tips there for you, especially if you're a new investor. Although if you are an experienced investor, then I'm sure that you'll sort of appreciate the reminder of these tips. And again, I'd like to stress, this isn't all about the money. Like, it's fantastic to collect for your own personal collection. So by all means, if you're doing it for that and you really want a card, ignore those tips. Just buy what you want. But if you are interested in the more investing side of the hobby, then these are the tips that you really should follow. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.